Okay, so what we're gonna do now, while we wait for this party to fill, just gonna introduce the episode 2 of my show, where I go from being a raider of, let's call it, slightly above average skill to someone who participates in a world prog race. And in this episode, what we're doing, let me start again. So I'll wait for this party to fill. Let's start episode 2 of this of my journey from average or above average raider to someone who participates in a world prog race. In this episode, what we're going to be doing is speculating on the mechanics of what might be in Savage. So really quickly, I'm going to go in with my ult. We're going to clear the 4th fight, and then I'll come back here on YouTube. It'll be a seamless transition, but I'll come back here in a second with some footage from my first ever run through of the normal mode. So if you made it to this part of the YouTube channel, we are going to just sort of look at the mechanics from my first ever pull of the fights. This is done entirely in Party Fighter, so other players may do what they wish. I can't be held responsible for them. Alright, so the 1-2 paw, this is easily left-right. In Savage, could expect this to be paired with something, but I think the left-right paw is basically right, but it might be like left-left, right-right. That, easily see that happening. That's not a big concern. Same thing here. I would imagine this actually pairing well with the left-right, so you have to dodge on a particular half of the arena. I think Savage would do that really well. Biscuit Maker, I do like that mechanic because it feels like the cats that make biscuits, like when your cats make biscuits. That's what this. Anyway, stack. In this video, I'm not going to go into like split 4-person stacks unless I think it might be worth calling out. But tank busters and things like that's a little bit too minute for a video with this. Okay, so this one, I think there will be patterns in Savage. There's definitely patterns in normal, but I didn't pick up on them. So I think this is actually just going to be you stand in the one that doesn't get hit twice. I think in Savage, everyone will get hit at least once. So that here they have in the first instance, everyone will get hit once. So here you have each of the yeah, he brings them back right away. So this is just a get knocked and don't die. Yeah, get knocked back one. I would imagine because we had this in Extreme recently, we could actually see a pair mechanic with this, right? So in Extreme, you took a pair and you got knocked to the next platform. I would imagine in Savage, one of two things can happen. One, it's a pair mechanic, so you knock your partner back. Or two, getting knocked with someone changes how many squares further back you get sent. I think that could be an interesting way to do the mechanic. Yep. He goes over there. And that's done. Alright. Alright, knockback, yeah, just get knocked back to any tile. So I can imagine this actually getting paired with something, especially like a knockback and then the punchback. So you get knocked back somewhere, then you get punched to the tile that saves you. I think that could be fun. So that would mean the tanks would have to position them interestingly. And for the sake of brevity, I will pounce it. This is just Devour. When we saw Devour in the first fight in what was it? E5S or P5S, there was only 2 patterns, and I kind of imagine something like that repeating itself, where there's only 1 or 2 patterns that you have to memorize, or at least plan for. Stacks and spreads, yeah, that could be a stack, it could be a spread. Sometimes I'm not too worried about which one that is. But Yoshi P does like to pair, to give you, 1 or 2 options. It's a stack mechanic or it's a spread mechanic, right? Especially in the early fights. Pairs like that often go together. So this moved left right. So he's going to go over there and do left right. I can imagine, like, we saw clones quite a bit in this normal tier, so I can actually imagine clones appearing frequently. The important thing to notice, he doesn't change his orientation when he moves. He simply just moves. I can imagine that being paired with the left-right mechanic as well. Or maybe multiple left-right mechanics. So there's left-right and then north-south, right? That could be an easy way to do it. Is there anything worth taking a look at here? I think this is... Alright. So here's... Again, this is our day 0 Prog, or day 0 normal PF. Not Prog. I guess it was Prog. Okay. So this is clockwise and in. I'm gonna imagine the first time we see this, it'll be clockwise, counterclockwise, and out. I'm imagining that's a pairing that'll be really obvious. The first time I see it, again, this is going clockwise. Well, I guess even the side of it, but from the west profile, it's going clockwise. I imagine that could be a T or an X, different shape from the boss, right? That's a pretty easy guess to make. All right, so the Honeybee Live mechanic, where we get these markers above our head, our buffs. I actually think we may get like fewer, maybe. So like right now it's 3, right? So we can have 2, where you can take one mechanic. Like this is a spread, everyone gets it. We can get. I said 2. It could be so it could be 2, it could be 3, but you have to do these towers once each, right? Get out, Love Seeker, yeah, Love Seeker out. So Seeker is out. Love Me Tender is the bubbles. Or not the bubbles, but the AoE dots. It seems really a really obvious guess that actually I'll make this prediction in a second here. But it does seem like an obvious guess that we would have to juggle people getting hit by different mechanics, right? So that Viper has none. I don't think that Viper would to do that. But were they dead earlier? I don't know. They have a debuff? Yeah, they do. Maybe so. Maybe they died earlier in a bubble. This is Shiva circles. We've seen these a bunch of times. If you can't do Shiva circles, you know, we've seen them in Shiva. We've seen them in Innocence. Not Innocence. Titania. Blow Me a Kiss. I imagine Blow Me a Kiss could get like Sting Me a Kiss or something. Like let's just get behind. You know, don't be behind the mechanic. This is the finale. This is where she takes off the debuff. Honey Breeze. It's the Tank Buster. Yeah, we know that one. All right. So the next thing I think comes up is the chase the AoEs around. Yeah. Oh, it's the dots actually. Sorry, the dots. So the dots are next. These little dots you have to dodge. So get to the sides and dodge the little balls. Yep, there you go. I was slow there, but hey, first I've seen the mechanic. Alright. Debuff falls off, drop of Venom. So drop of Venom is just loading of the dots. Alright, so this is get in, because it's clockwise. So in, the bubbles appear, and we hide away from them. I'm imagining there's going to be like a stack, or like a split stack, so that everyone has to get together. Or you form light parties, or partners, or... yeah, I would imagine like forming pairs and partners there would actually be a very easy guess to make, prediction to make. This we've just followed this around. We've seen this mechanic a million times in our raiding careers at this point. You just follow them, walk around. I'm being an idiot here because I'm actually getting clipped, but maybe I didn't get clipped. I thought I did. Who knows? Anyways. This is the innocence mechanic I mentioned earlier. I tried to mention earlier, where it just goes right through the boss swords or for instance. I don't know. Honeybee line. Yep, let's get to the sides. And then Honeybee Live, so that's the giving us the debuffs again. Now, the second time we see this mechanic, there are. Let's see if I can just magically jump forward to it. So, this mechanic right here, I think could be interesting. I would imagine. So, there's obviously 4 hearts, which means you need 4 people in each stack. I actually imagine there's a world where there's not always 4 hearts. Like it could be a 2-3 stack, or so 2 people have to get hit, 1 person stays out, and I think this could be done 2 ways. The first way I would imagine this be done is the number of hearts will change, so that's the number of people that need to be in the stack. The second way I imagine this be done actually is a mechanic after this would require you to not have a heart. That could like require 1 person to not have a heart. So in that case, 3 people would stack under the 4 hearts, and then so those 3 people will get 4 hearts, and then 1 person won't. But that 1 person can then solve a later mechanic. That's actually what I think could happen. That'd be kind of a cool way to do it. I don't know if they would do that on a second fight of a tier, but I think that could be fun. All right. And that's the last prediction I'm making on the second fight. So let's jump ahead. So this fight seems to must scale down from what it'll be in Savage. I can imagine, like, this fight gets pretty boring pretty quickly, and I can imagine a world where when he has his full kit, this fight is more engaging. Brutal Impact is just the AoE. And Knuckle Sandwich shared Tank Buster. I think the first time you see this, you should probably just invuln this in Savage anyways. Especially if you have a Paladin or a Gunbreaker. Even Warrior or Dark Knight. Alright. Brutal Lariat. Don't be on the shiny side. Get wrecked. I didn't know it was that wide. Actually, just really quick. I wonder if I can grab that clip for a minute. So that's kind of interesting. The Brutal Lariat is the width of the hitbox plus the side of the map. That's kind of cool. So in case you need a marker, it's the width of the hitbox plus the side of the map. That's how far out over you have to go. So did I learn my lesson? I did learn my lesson. Look at me go. This is the get behind. Yeah, I remember that. This is the get behind. Whenever you see mist, it's get behind. Barbarous Barrage. I'm not sure what this was when I saw. Oh, this is the. Okay. So, obviously, in Savage, I think the easiest prediction to make is you have to get knocked to a specific area, not just across, right? So, specific people have to get knocked to a specific side. So maybe all support get knocked one way, all tanks and healers get knocked another way, or light party stacks, or light parties go off right after it. I think that could be a very reasonable prediction to make. And I imagine these bombs could go off. Right now it's obviously like short fuses off first and long fuses off second, but it's probably a mechanic where they go off in the reverse order. That's easy enough to think about. Yep, Brutal Lariat, get out the way. And then what next? Short fuse, long fuse, yep. The other thing I've just noticed right now is actually the death wall or the unsafe area is really wide. I didn't think about this before, but there's probably a reason to. there's probably a mechanic that widens the arena, right? And if you look at the arena, there are lots of little circles. We don't use any of the lines in the ground for any of the mechanics. Refbot appearing here and getting destroyed. I actually think that like P5S, where the carbuncle had to eat the slimes, I'm gonna guess the refbot mechanic, we're gonna have to like prevent him from punching the refbot, or he has to destroy a specific refbot, and we execute that by standing in a certain place, right? We bait the refbot location. This is a combo. Yeah. I can imagine the combo and the short, it happens later in the fight, the combo and short long fuse can come together, but I can imagine that you have to get knocked, avoid the lariat, and also do the long short fuse mechanic. Get knocked back towered, avoid the lariat, and do the short fuse long fuse mechanic. I think that could be a reasonable thing. So lariat combo again. I think I actually died here if I remember. Maybe I did. Yeah, I assumed it was always opposite. I think I died of this. Maybe I don't know this time. Maybe Carbuncle saved me. And what's next? So this is a mechanic that we've seen in Emerald Weapon. If you've ever done that at Extreme, just stay in and out. If you time it right, you don't lose more than a GCD of uptime. So this is the mechanic where I like this because you have to come out of it facing towards the boss so you can avoid the lariat. I think it's actually a really fun thing to do. So you always have to dodge and end up running towards the boss so you can get out of the lariat combo. Stack mechanic. AoE. It's lariat combo again. So this is where we all have to get knocked into towers. I tested it in a later run. You can't get knocked straight cardinal. You have to get knocked to the intercardinal. So you always have to get knocked to the long fuse. Maybe you can't get knocked cardinal. I just did it wrong, but it seemed like it would not be fun to try to get knocked to cardinal. Murderous Miss, get behind him. That looks like monitors to me the first time I saw it. I was thinking of monitors from the Hello World fight. I can't remember which one that is. 08S? 012S? This is just AoE again. Throws a tantrum. And I think that's all the mechanics worth talking about. Yep, that's the. Okay, we should talk about that. So here he does the lariat, a bombs combo. That will definitely. I think that will definitely be a savage, but I think there'll be another step to it. So you have to dodge with a spread or a stack. That I think is a pretty easy prediction to make. Yep. All right, I think this is a door boss. 2 reasons. Sorry. Yeah, I think this is a door boss, and that's just because Yoshi P and the fight team have been giving us 5 fights each tier, and I imagine this is the fight. One of the predictions I wanted to make but didn't is that there's a door boss on another fight. I kind of thought that for the first fight we did, I got door boss vibes there, but I don't get door boss. But I just got those vibes. This mechanic very much will be in Savage. Dodge and dodge again. Yeah, that'll be easy enough to do. Look for the clone, dodge the clone. Tank busters, get away from the tank. I assume it cleaves. I actually didn't check. It looks like it cleaves. Maybe you know. We've seen that mechanic before. They blast the thing. I'm standing on the wrong side, so I just get wrecked here. To make it out. Okay. So this mechanic will certainly be in Savage. A version of this will be in Savage, where you stare at the wheels. This threefold blast. I can imagine a world where you have debuffs and you have to get hit by the right debuff. That scream, like the colors there, like if you have a light debuff, get hit by light, and you have to get hit in a particular order. That's what this screams out to me. Is you could have like for fourfold blast you would have 2 purple and 1 orange, so you have to get hit in the correct order. I'm guessing. That's what that screams out to me. So in order to survive, you get hit in the right order. That's just my guess. Stack or spread. This is just a painful stack. Alright, what else? This is just the get away from the lines. Don't be in the lines. Just generally in Final Fantasy, if lines are glowing, don't be in the way of them. Just a general mechanic. Yeah. Move out the way. Dodge the left right cleave. There'll probably be a clone here the second time you see this, for sure. And what else? I think that's basically most of the mechanics we see in Phase 1. Wrath of Zeus, I forgot what this one was. That's just AoE, okay. Shadow Sabbath is summoning the clone, so you do what the clone does. Clone can do the left right cleave. It's always left right cleave, so if there's another mechanic in there, it's probably gonna get me. The boss always goes off last. Boss might go off first sometimes. I don't know. That's all right. So it's this mechanic. So we see this mechanic repeat again, and then they come to the sides. She jumps to the middle while we're on the side. So 5-fold blast. She's gonna hit each side 5 times. Again, I think this is gonna be very similar to the you have a debuff here. That's my prediction. You have a debuff here, and you have to get hit by either the same color debuff or the opposite color debuff. It depends on what order what Final Fantasy has. We've seen both those mechanics before. I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit because my last prediction is here. All right, so we do the. So for my last prediction, I think we go. We could see a world where we do this mechanic, dodge each time, and then so what for the mechanic I think will be in range. I think there's a couple interesting possibilities here. Um, First, it's definitely gonna be a hard hitting, but so all your mitts here, but also while she's doing the APOC ray, whatever this, I call this APOC ray, could be wrong. Um, there's definitely going to be like stacks and spreads where you have to stack on one side of the platform or spread to the other side of the platform, or vice versa, like spread and then stack. And we've seen these kind of tight mechanics before in the second half of P12S or P8S, right? Where we line up along the ground. So I think that could actually happen again. But yeah, I would imagine the first time we see this, you want to tank, albeit just a guess. I don't know for sure that that's the case. But this is for sure in rage. or this version of it will be in Rage. But anyways, thank you for watching. Next week I'll be week 1 progging. Nominally we are a world prog group, but our goal is actually just to clear week 1, and then we'll see how we place. I would be ecstatic if we end up in top 50 of all the racers. That would be awesome for me. Thank you for watching. I am Quick Things All Thoughts. You can follow me on Twitch in the description, or my Twitch link will be in the description. Take care.